where do you want to begin with this? I mean, at first I was watching this. I almost tweeted this, and thank God I didn't. I almost tweeted this and said this game was supposed to be one of the entertaining games, and whoo! Thank God it ended up being very entertaining. But the tale of two halves. That's definitely how this game went.
There were about 2 minutes left when they were driving to go kick the game-winning field goal, and I'm sitting there in my basement, like, we have to do a podcast after this on video. I haven't done anything. I'm like in my sweats because I was going to get ready during the second half of the game. I was going to compose myself. So I'm sitting there with my basement shower on. ETN gets the 4th and 1 carry. My dog is barking. And there's just pure chaos for the last 4 hours. Oh my God. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I was doing some back of the napkin math. Very quickly before we started, because on the NFL Jesus system, they only have first half and final stats.
Yeah.
So Trevor was 10 of 24 for 77 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
He finished 28 of 47 for 288.
Okay.
So my crude math says that means in the second half of that game, he was 18 of 23 for 211 yards.
That's not bad. It was definitely after a few drives and him getting fooled a couple times, it was like, man, it's a playoffs, man. Might be, just treat him like a rookie. It's good jitters, get it out. But he came out in the second half and just the confidence he was showing and him rallying the teammates and everything. Like, even after he had made bad plays, him coming to the sideline and saying stuff, and you could tell he was like, it's on me. And man, he came out in the second half, and the whole team, the whole Jaguars, they had just a great plan, and they never wavered. It was really kind of cool to see them kind of stick to the plan. Plenty of runs, and Trevor with some great play designs as well.
Let's start with how the hole got dug. So when we were planning on what we were going to talk about on this show after the first half, I figured we would talk a lot about, man, what a game plan by the Chargers.
Yeah.
And what a game plan by Brandon Staley. Did a fantastic job of just making it hard on Trevor in a bunch of different ways. The best example being one that we don't need to show the play. We were going to, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
I think it was the third Asante Samuel interception.
Okay.
Jags used motion to try to get a man zone tell with Christian Kirk.
Yep.
Davis follows Christian Kirk across the formation, and then the Chargers play zone behind it.
Yep.
And Jags running a crosser, and Trevor thought, well, that's open. There's nobody there. And he throws it right to Asante Samuel in cover 2. That happened a bunch in the first half of the game. They're playing a lot of man on early downs, driving hard on everything underneath, playing a lot of sticky man coverage, disguising it well. Thought, man, they're just junk ball pitching their way to this game. And that's enough. Staley's still a really good game planner. We've seen what he's done over the last month and a half of the season. And they really jumped on this Chargers team. Didn't take advantage of all their opportunities, kicked too many field goals. The offense didn't look great, but it didn't end up mattering. You get up 27 at half and you kind of coast your way to a win. And what a great season for the Jags,
Yeah.
And the second half starts. So my big question to you on the Jags offense side of this, what do you think were the biggest differences with the Jags offense in the second half of the game?
So in the first half, I'll start with the first half because, like you said, that interception that you just brought up was a great example of what's kind of Staley was doing, what the Chargers defense was doing. The Jaguars like to be in those 1-by-3 formations where Everett's the lone receiver and the 3 wide receivers to the other side. They would motion somebody across. That's where you're saying the man zone tell and switching to cover 2. And Jaguars love running crossers and drive concepts, mesh concepts, screens. And in the first half, the Chargers kept showing single high, man, cover 3 buzz, 3 weak, robber, just single high. And on third down, they'll go to cover 2. The second half, the Jaguars adjusted, not only just in the run game, they're like, okay, you're going to do this. We're going to run some more zone stuff that we can run against these fronts that you're showing, these single high fronts. We can't do inside zone because a little dicey. You have too many guys, too many bodies for us to block. But also in the passing game, saw a lot more outbreakers happening. Saw a lot
deep
more stuff,
outbreakers too,
which is good against cover 3 and single high coverages, just because you're attacking the leverage. And also just the underneath throws were a lot more available. And I think the underneath throws changed where Trevor thought he could get them. I think he thought, oh, well, if it's cover 6, I'm going to get him at one spot. I mean, I won't get into too much detail, but in between the seam and numbers, and now it's in between not the seam of the numbers, the hash and the numbers, and now it's in between the hashes. It kind of just the check down area changed for him too, the areas that they attacked. And so just in the second half, I mean, the Zay Jones touchdown, the 39-yard touchdown was a beauty because they checked into it. They were that was a shot play territory. Anytime that kind of 30 to 40 yard area, that's a real green zone, gold zone, teams will call it, that, you're going to see some shot plays. They checked into that same formation, 1-by-3. And because they got cover 6 on that play. And what I thought was brilliant on it was they had Christian Kirk run right at Derwin James, and it tied down Derwin James. There's no one left to cover Zay Jones because he has
a vertical route. Again, pushing the ball down the field in the way that they didn't in the first half. And I think that was one of the biggest parts of this, is that they didn't do any of that. And then when they saw the way that the Chargers were playing them, they started taking obviously that's a huge vertical shot, but just all of those corner routes that we saw from them in the second half, that's just an area they weren't attacking in the first half.
Yep. And the Chargers, it was a great game plan. Like I said, the interception, the second interception, I should say, on 4th down was the Jaguars were trying to go quick on it. They did a cheat account where the center grabs the ball and snaps it right away. So it's like a silent count. And the Chargers brought a slot pressure there. Again, it's playing off the single high stuff that they showed. Right guard Scherf and the center get occupied by a crosser or a crossing defensive lineman. Free runner in Trevor's face. They're playing physical on them. They just clamp down on them. But that was what's so nice about what the Jaguars did in the second half. Like you said, those deep outbreakers, they were attacking those areas that were given them because the Chargers are saying, we're going to load up with bodies in the box so you won't run on us. And we're going to challenge your receivers. We're going to press them and throw it outside, beat us on the outside, have Marvin Jones and Zay Jones beat us as opposed to Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram beat us. And it was working for a while until the Jaguars started to find answers, especially in the second half. But no, it was just it was a great opening punch and a great counter punch from the Jags. And they enough points were scored off of it before the Chargers were able to adjust.
I mean, the touchdown throw to Kirk, just really good ball placement working against Bryce Callahan. He hit another one on, I believe, the next drive on the right sideline, same kind of deal. I mean, the ball placement from Trevor in the second half was really, really good. And you contrast that with what the Chargers offense looked like for most of this game.
Yeah.
And they couldn't run the ball, which we didn't think they would be able to. 2.9 yards per carry. And that includes, you take that out. So on running back runs, they had 20 carries for 55 yards in this game, which isn't surprising at all, given what the Jags run defense is and how the Chargers have run the ball this season. In terms of throwing the ball, they couldn't do that either.
No.
And they lived on 3rd down and Trevor and Justin Herbert escapes in this game.
Yep.
His ability to navigate the pocket, find guys late in the down. I actually thought the tackles played okay, considering it was a 3rd string left tackle and Trey Pipkins, who's been banged up all season against the edges. I thought the pass protection was actually okay. When it wasn't, he did a really good job of navigating the pocket. And then on 3rd down in this game, I mean, their 3rd down efficiency in this one was 8 of 17.
Yeah, 17 downs.
You go 8 of 17 and 17 3rd downs, but you go 8 of 17 on 3rd down and you win the turnover battle by 5.
Yeah.
And you lose. That is a truly disgusting performance from your offense down to down when you do that.
The second half, you brought up the running stats overall. They had 0 successful runs in the second half. The Chargers did. And you not only just have to run the ball just because it has to be a part of your offense, you're trying to burn some clock. Even if you have a double-digit lead, you're still trying to milk some. And that leans into just even, like you said, it was disgusting. Like the most disgusting play to me was after the Jaguars scored to go 28 to 30. And so it was like 3 minutes and change, I believe, left, maybe about 4 for the Chargers. They come out in 13. So that is 4-minute offense territory. That is the offense is trying to burn the clock. Usually see a lot more heavy personnels. When I talk about situations in the NFL, this is one of them. And defense trying to get the ball back. Chargers come out 13 personnel with Joshua Palmer on the field. And I like Joshua Palmer, but he's a nice role player. But they're going run. We're running right here. Run. And they run a heavy play action play. The Chargers tight ends are not what you like, who you want on the field to design this. Gerald Everett can make some mismatches for you, but other guys are whatever. And Joshua Palmer, again, a role player. Yeah, you get him because he's your blocking receiver, but then now you're kind of pigeonholing yourself. Where's the juice coming from? Who are you designing that play for? Everett, maybe on a sail route. And sure enough, no one pops open. Justin Herbert takes a sack. That 4-minute drive is dead. And you can just feel the game go right after that. And sure enough, what happens on second and long? screen, running back screen. It's just so by the books. There's no even the creativity, like the play action shot is so by the books. It's like, oh, this is my change up. This is by the books change up. And sure enough, the Jaguars just teed off on it and then got the ball back and won the game.
So many missed opportunities. I mean, Herbert misses that throw in the end zone and they have to kick a field goal. I mean, that's one that's totally on him, but you could just feel how little juice the offense had overall. And then you lose DeAndre Carter at one point, which if your offense losing DeAndre Carter is somehow this death knell to your passing game, that's when you know you're in trouble. But that was the state of the receiving core coming into this game. I mean, you're down to Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, and Michael Bandy at one point. And that's brutal. And then you have your third string left tackle in there. And then on defense, Michael Davis getting hurt and Jasir Taylor going in there did end up mattering. He got dinged for the pass interference. They had a quick comeback to Marvin Jones that was the type of play that they've been shutting down the entire game. And then you can just feel it start to slip away.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole second half, it was like they came out and it just felt like that. I mean, when the Jaguars scored and they did the 2-point play, after Bosa gets kicked out of the game, they're doing the 2-point play.
He didn't get kicked out.
Right, with
he didn't get kicked out. I don't think he played the rest of the game though. So even that little part of the meltdown is just really frustrating to watch.
Well, the other thing was, of course, the Chargers hurry up play. When they have a play that might get challenged, is stick 2x2 stick, which I thought was very funny. But how about, can we talk about the 4th and 1? That was pretty sweet from the Jaguars.
I wanted to talk about just the mindset they brought into that half period.
Yeah,
the fact that it was never over. You could feel that it was. They never thought it was over. Going for 2 after getting that penalty and saying, "All right, we're going to put ourselves in a position to kick this field goal," and then having that 4th and 1, and instead of just sneaking it, saying we can go for the throat right here.
Yeah,
that's who Doug Pederson was all year, and it was fun to see that version of this team with their season on the line, pulling off one of the greatest comebacks that we've ever seen, capped off by a marvelous decision in that huge moment.
It was awesome. Well, and before it looked like sneak. I think everybody, even Tony Dungy, came alive for that, thinking it was going to be a sneak, and he lines up. And I mean, everybody, like before the timeout, everybody's within the tackles, the offensive tackles. I mean, there's like 5 defenders within there, just squeezed in. There's no gaps to be found. I actually originally thought Trevor was going to snap it and try and bounce it outside, which you'll see the quarterbacks do a little bit now. And they come out of that timeout, come out of the Chicago Bears fight song, the T formation. It was awesome. And the sweep to Etienne, it was awesome. You got Manhurts setting the edge. I mean, it was just a great counter. It was awesome. I mean, because that even kind of sells sneak a little bit, because it's like, oh, they're wedging it forward. Like they're going to have those 3 guys run forward and push them. So even there's maybe that casts a little doubt, but it was awesome. Just a little. Yeah, talk about change ups right there. Like we're not going right up the middle. We're going to bounce it outside with the guy with crazy legs Etienne, who's going to get to the edge no matter what. So awesome play. Even going for 2 and just the quickest 2-point conversion of all time. Trevor's sneak launch, quickest play of all time. It was like Derek Fisher against the Spurs. The 0.4 seconds.
Yeah,
like that's what it felt like. It was just like boom, boom, done. I was like, what the hell just happened? He scored. Was there a penalty there? But yeah, Jaguars. I mean, right away they went for a 4th down. Like even with the interception that Trevor had, they never lost that confidence, that aggression. It was awesome.
Part of me was a little bit disappointed in that we really liked watching this team for a good chunk of this year. And I think a lot of people who maybe didn't watch them as often as we did or as closely as we did, seeing them fall flat like this would be like, man, really? Like people were excited about the Jags at some point this year. And that's why so many of those moments in the second half were fun. Even, this was a small one, but Fatou Kassi getting that sack after he made the play on the Trayvon Walker personal foul that ends up giving the Chargers another chance. It's almost like a ball don't lie thing for him, where he roasts Zion Johnson on that play action, the sack that you were talking about, and he makes a play. And then, so you got that defensive injection that we did in the offseason that we had seen at other times this year. And then on offense, Christian Kirk making 2 or 3 monster catches in the biggest moment possible, and Trevor being that guy. You know, it was not a great first half. I think that the couple bad interceptions, the one to Samuel where he doesn't read the coverage is where he
One
gets
was
tricked.
truly on him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he gets tricked on that one. The one that's the inbreaker where Samuel made a great play on it. That's not a great decision, but one was tipped and one was probably pass interference.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously not a great half when you throw 4 interceptions, but coming back and seeing him do what he did in the second half wasn't surprising if you've watched Trevor Lawrence play all season.
No, they've had multiple of these moments, multiple of these games, especially like huge deficits. The Ravens game, especially and not to get into like full blown like real life is Rudy moment, or anything like that, or Hoosiers or something. Well, Hoosiers is based on real life, but but those types of like sentimental moments. But they showed them on the yeah, I know. Oh, God dang it. There's a terrible analogy, but just showing them on the side. I'm talking about the Disneyfication of this. We're not. They're not our parent company. We're good. So it's just like any of the, like they showed him on the sideline, especially in the first half. He had the one bad play. Even last week when he had the bad pitch play against the Titans, he went right up to whoever they tried to pitch it. I think it was Tavon Austin. He goes, that was high, wasn't it? My bad. He put his arm around him. They showed him. He was like, hey, my bad. Like he should. And when they started to make the comeback, they showed him on the sideline with the Microsoft Surface tablet. It sounds like an advertisement now. Just going like, like pointing at it, and the whole offense is just locked in. It's like, man, they just compare these sidelines right now. One sideline is just absolutely needs to change their underwear, and the other sideline's like frothing at the bit just to get back out in the field because they feel like they have them. They have them on the ropes, and they did. They actually did. It wasn't just a fake confidence type of thing. But it's awesome because there's so many bad moments for that Jaguars offense and defense. Like, like Chad Muma's getting torched by Gerald Everett for a touchdown. Austin Eckler bounces and Tyson Campbell misses the angle, and it's like easy touchdown to bouncing. Trevor has his moments. The run game's not going. And then the second half, it was just not just Trevor, but just the whole team just had that confidence. The defense, you could feel them attacking the run game. So it was a fun story. And that's the thing. It's kind of cool to actually see them truly bounce back within the game in a playoff moment, not just like go like, oh, they came up short, maybe next year. These feisty Jaguars, the cardiac cats, they actually pulled it out, it's just astounding. It's a fantastic win for that team.